Mary, the mother of Jesus, is one of the most important figures in history. Despite this, there are very few historical records about her. In fact, outside of the Bible, there is only one non-biblical reference to Mary, and it's from a Jewish historian named Josephus. She was the mother of Jesus, who was called the Christ. So let's take a look at her story, starting with her hometown. Well, the answer is in the Bible. In the Gospel of Luke, chapter 2, verses 1 to 5, we read this: "And it came to pass in those days that a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be registered." This was the first registration when Quirinius was governor of Syria. "Now, let's go put this baby in a nicer place." And Mary's like, I don't think we can do that, Joe. I think this baby is destined to be in a manger for the rest of his life. I'm just kidding. I'm sure that she didn't really speak like that, but you know what I'm saying. If you would like to learn more about her, I highly recommend reading the book of Luke in the Bible. Mary knew that Jesus wasn't destined for an ordinary life, and it's clear that Joseph came to realize it as well. So all people were on their way to register. Everyone wanted to be registered in their own hometown. And he went down with them and came to Nazareth and remained there, so that what was spoken through the prophet Isaiah might be fulfilled. Nazareth, the city in which he grew up, he shall be called the Nazarene. What do you think Mary was thinking as she looked at Jesus as a baby? What do you think she was thinking as she watched him grow up? As a mother, I can only imagine that her love for Jesus knew no bounds, even though at times she must have been worried sick for him, especially during the time that he taught people in the temple at age 12. As we read in Luke 2:41, "Why were you looking for me? Did you not know that I must be about my Father's business?" And Jesus went down with them and came to Nazareth and was subject to them. But his mother kept all these sayings in her heart. For Jesus was called the Christ, not by other people, but by his own people after they recognized him as the fulfillment of the Scriptures. That's such a beautiful image, and I think it helps us understand how important it is to reflect on our faith. It is easy to get caught up in the busyness of life and to forget to take some time and think about what we believe. But Mary didn't make that mistake. She took the time to ponder in her heart what Jesus had said, and I think that's something that we should all strive to do. He wrote about her in an ancient book called Antiquities of the Jews, and here's what he said. His hometown was also Nazareth, so why did he travel all the way to Bethlehem? As we read in verse 7, "And she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn." Can you imagine the awkwardness of that situation? You're about to give birth any minute now, and your significant other says, "Honey, sorry, I just found out that there's no air conditioning in this place. Why don't you go ahead and give birth over there in the corner by the animals?" I get that Mary and Joseph were humble people, but I think they could have done a little bit better than that. Well, because Mary, his fiancée, was pregnant with Jesus, and Joseph was a descendant of King David, which made Jesus a future king, and Bethlehem was the town of David. So if you want to be a descendant of David and claim the throne of Israel, then Bethlehem is where you need to be. There was about this time a Jewish woman named Mary, who was held in high regard by the people because of her extraordinary virtue. Now, as you can probably imagine, that one sentence from Josephus Flavius is nowhere near enough for someone with as much importance as Mary. You see, Mary wasn't born in Bethlehem, she was born in Nazareth. But why did Joseph and Mary travel all the way to Bethlehem? But here's the thing, Joseph wasn't from Bethlehem, but once they got to Bethlehem, things didn't go according to plan. And just picture the conversation that they had after Jesus was born. Joseph's probably like, "Hey babe, nice work," after they presented Jesus at the temple, as we read in Luke 2:39. When they had performed everything according to the law of the Lord, as it was commanded, they returned to Galilee to their own city, Nazareth. The Bible tells us that Mary kept all these things and pondered them in her heart. Luke tells us that Mary treasured up these sayings and pondered them in her heart. I hope you enjoyed this video about Mary, the mother of Jesus. Thanks for watching Bible and History. See you on our next upload.